Oh, wow. Welcome back to No Longer Came as Rejects. Have rebranded to Critifire Games, which is the LLC that got uh, that I built out for all of the stuff that I'm trying to do. So it makes more sense just to have everything under that umbrella. But regardless, we ended our first campaign. We're not gonna have everyone here tonight. That's okay. I think some other people will be hopping in a bit, but this is just gonna kind of be me answering questions for the players and anyone who happens to hop in stream on um, anything they really want to know about the first campaign, options that they could have taken that they didn't, what would have happened if they would have done other things, um, maybe if they actually went and talked to anyone other than criminals, if they could have had more help to win in the end, or if they would have used the tools that were provided to them at the beginning of the final battle, if less people would have died, stuff like that. You know, just common stuff.
Just the usual.
Just the usual. So, but yeah, I do have I'm gonna be probably pulling stuff up and entering in new stuff into World Anvil throughout those things. So that is what will be on the screen for people who are watching, which might not be the most exciting, but it is what it is. So yeah, I got Riven and Victor, or Rocky.
Hello.
And Para, the players behind them. And I guess do you guys have any questions that you want answered?
Oh, sorry. I am back. What happened?
Sorry. You have, so this is going to be a Q&A, obviously. I might ask you guys questions too, because sometimes your guys' actions confound all intelligent manners in my mind.
Yeah, like why does Riven die so much? That's a good question.
Because Riven doesn't know how to flank.
That is
Or he
true.
knows how to flank too
Doesn't
much.
know how to flank.
No, like think about it. Like every time Riven was like dead, it's because he either A, didn't flank correctly and he put himself in between like 3 enemies, or B, he tried to flank with an enemy.
I don't know about that. I think Riven. Here's the issue with Riven is Riven wanted so bad to be a frontline fighter, but was not at all built to be a frontline fighter.
You know,
Yep.
that's true.
Basically, Wolfram joining made him go another direction, and he was already too late.
Yeah.
Oh, but I did have a question.
Yeah.
So when we started off like with this campaign, and like we went straight for those goblins that was it the level 5 or the 5-star like difficulty. Did you see like the ending that we like had with Kalimroth and everything? Like, was that the ending you had at that moment, or were you still developing it at that point?
I was still developing at that point. At the point of session 1, I didn't know if you guys were going to be murder hobos or not. I was still building out the world pretty heavily. I mean, I had been working on the world for about a year, but there was still a lot of stuff. Like the Iron Brand, I don't think existed until Mavra had found a note in the Goblin Chief's quarters in that Goblin encampment. And it had a list of names of children that were being taken. And at that point, she was like, "Oh, well, what does it say?" And I was like, "Well, goddamn, I don't know what the fuck it says." And so I made up some stuff, and I think I said something about the Iron Brand, and so that kind of pushed the Iron Brand to the forefront of my mind. I was like, "Well, okay, they're obviously doing a ritual, something to do with having to take children and other people," and it kind of built off that. I think when I started to really flesh out the Kalenroth stuff was when you guys were going from El Macath with Faraday, the bronze dragonborn, protecting his caravan. Because I had known at that point that the Blightwood was going to be burned down by the Iron Brand and all of that stuff, and I had started working out loot that I knew the Iron Brand would have on them, and one of them was, I just wrote in my notes for the for the loot for that Iron Brand fight, I was like, large chest with 1d4 books, and then 1d4 gems, or like it was like 1d12 gems or something like that, and then 1d3 or 1d4 potions, and then I just wrote sword Kalenroth. I just wrote sword and then the name Kalenroth. I was like, that's a cool name for a sword. And then I decided it was broken when you guys started going through the chest. But I was like, well, why the fuck is the sword broken? How many pieces is it broken into? What the fuck is this gonna do? And at that point, that's when I started really building up the lore behind the blade of Kalenroth and why it got shattered and everything like that.
You know,
most of my notes are just bullet points because you guys don't do anything that I actually expect you to do.
Okay.
Which is both good and bad.
Now there's like two other questions I really, really wanted to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of them was, what would have happened if we actually made our appointment with the headmaster of like the Cinder Academy? What was his name?
Bartholomew Cinder.
Bartholomew Cinder. What would have happened if we actually made our appointment with him?
Well, the appointment was specifically for you to get to ask about the wyvern egg that you bought from the magic shop, Esmeralda's Emporium or whatever.
Yeah, so like, would anything have come from that?
Yeah, no, like you would have found out what was wrong with the wyvern egg, why it wasn't hatching, that kind of stuff.
So what was your plan for that?
Well, I had like a list of things that you would have to go through, like a trial system that he would be like, okay, well, you have to take the egg and you got to do this and this and this and this, and after all of this, then the egg will be able to hatch and you'll have a little wyvern, basically. It would have taken the campaign in a different direction. Because you got the egg and made the appointment before you guys signed up to go on the road with Faraday. And then right after you made the appointment, you guys went to the guild hall and picked up that mission. And I was like, well, you're not gonna get back for your appointment. And everybody was like, yeah, we're fine with that.
Did we ever did that decision change like the direction of like that one shot we were supposed to have in like the dragon council? Because like I know we made all those characters for that and we just never got back around to it, because like after the whole one shot with like Riven and everything, not Riven, River, the River one, right? I think I was gone for a bit.
That was the one with River, Drevik, and God, I can't remember his name. The other Sin plays a lot of children. The other blue-haired child that Sin had. No, it didn't really, because the events of that, it's called the Conclave of the Skilled Lords. It's a meeting that the 7 remaining dragons have yearly on the solstice. And we can still go back, because I still have it written out, so we can still go back and do that one shot. But I'm just working out the base information. I already know how that is supposed to, in my mind, play out, and so that I've already like functioned that into the world and like the lore for the new campaign. I won't speak on it more, because if we do decide that we want to go and do that one shot with the dragons, then we'll fully play it out, and regardless how it ends, it'll still fit in the world of the new campaign.
Okay. I had another question. What was it? Unless someone has something they want to ask.
I don't know. Mavra's here now.
Yeah. Mavra's here.
I am sorry,
Hi.
my headset was dead.
Oh no.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Calling what?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Anyway, moving on from that. Well, if Para's not going to ask this question first, I'll ask.
Yeah, go for it. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not the only one asking questions.
I know, but since you had two, well, my question was if because during the campaign there were several magic items that were given to certain people, and or that we're supposed to find. Were there any that should have been found, but were not due to either us making a different choice or us having horrible rolls that could have made either the campaign easier or harder?
You guys had a lot of bad rolls.
I figured.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There was a lot of times where sometimes I would put myself in a bind because, like, in my mind, you guys will be doing something and I would have to be like, I would be sitting there and I'm like, okay, there's this thing hidden here that would definitely be helpful and would guide them in the right direction. But it's not supposed to be easy to find. But when I do that, and then I go, okay, well, you guys can roll an investigation or perception check, and then you all biff it, I can't backpedal and be like, okay, well, regardless of that, you still see this thing that I want you to see. And I think that's a part of managing. If there's something that I want you guys to find or see, I just have to say you guys find or see it without doing a roll, which kind of delays the whole aspect of rolling dice to achieve goals. But if it's something that's like heavily important, I try my best to be like, okay, well, they have to find this regardless, or make it to where you guys have, like, if there's this one thing of information, I will put that in like 6 different places. Like, if you guys are going through, like, you guys were searching a house in El Macath one time, and it was the time where there was the ghost doll thing. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
there was a piece of information in the desk drawer that Mavra had found. That piece of information was also in 6 other places in that house, because at that point in the campaign, I was like, they're not gonna find this if I just put it in one place, because they're at least gonna biff the roll in 4 of these rooms.
Yeah. We have terrible rolls.
We do.
Unless it's for something funny, and then our rolls are godly.
Speaking of funny, so when is that?
No, sorry, there was something that would have come that could have stemmed from meeting with Bartholomew Cinder. Is that, first of all, you would have started a relationship with Bartholomew Cinder because he would have had a vested interest in whatever was happening with this wyvern egg. But also a group of Lancers, River, Drevik, and whatever the other blue-haired child that Sin played was, went and got a sword for him, and that could have been like one of the things, like, at the end of the campaign when you guys were like contacting people, trying to get help with defeating the arbiters and stuff like that, that if you guys had built up that relationship with Bartholomew Cinder, he might have been like, oh yeah, well, I have this legendary sword that you can possibly borrow, which would have been a thing.
Could we have like done that? Because I remember there's this one time we ran into them in the like it was a tavern, right? And they were talking with Bartholomew Cinder, right?
Yeah.
Was that what you're trying to get us to go over and talk to them to actually make us try and help us out a bit?
Yeah, so when I did that, I was like, well, first of all, that's the bar that the Lancers work out of, and I already knew that River and them had met with Bartholomew, and Bartholomew had become like a benefactor of River's group. at that point. And so
like how River's the main character of that group.
that she's the only one other than the thing is I can't remember the name of Sen's character for that one ever. I don't know why, but
And Drake died.
Drevik died and came back though with the pact that he made with the White Dragon, Veer Glastriel. But yeah, no, because I had known that was gonna be his kind of stomping ground where he would meet with River as well as other Lancers that he would, like pay to do tasks for him, because as a high-ranking member of Imperial Society, and not only that, as the dean and headmaster and warden of the Aether Academy there, the Cinderspire Aether Academy, he can't just go to the Adventurers Guild and be like, hey, I need you to do these sketchy things for me. So he has to go through the Lancers Guild to do a lot of that. But yeah, you guys could have also used that chance to form that relationship. I think Mavra stopped and like stared at River for a long time and was like, River?
Well, she approached River.
Yeah, and River was like, I don't know you.
Then Mara was like, okay, sadness.
Which isn't my fault, because Luca gave River memory loss, not me.
So technically this was Darky's fault.
I'm honestly surprised that Luca didn't write River and Mavra reuniting and River getting her memory back into Mavra's back, into like the Mavra prologue.
What's funny is that it's in Sai's backstory.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that part in Sai's backstory.
And no. Sai's extended backstory is the one that I'm writing right now. The one that I wrote and submitted to everybody.
Okay.
Was
Wait a minute. You can't send me a backstory and then be like, I have a completely different backstory that you don't even know about.
No. Jesus Christ, Luke. Jesus fucking Christ. Stop. No, her backstory, like, the backstory that I gave everybody is how she is mechanically. The extended backstory was going to be kind of like what Para did with Zephyrion when he went back and like wrote a short story.
Okay.
It's just kind of like that.
I don't want to think about it anymore.
Oh.
There's a lot of aspects of Zephyrion that kind of, that's also a big thing. Oh, thanks, Phoenix. I appreciate it. He said the rebrand goes hard.
My baby boy.
Well, that's what happens when you quit, Para. That's what happens when you
I didn't quit. I was deployed. I was fighting for our country.
Stop getting deployed, new.
Look, this sounds more like a skill issue than anything else.
Okay, next time I will just fucking play D&D in a war zone. It'll be okay, guys.
Well,
Hey,
D&D is kind of a war zone in and of itself.
Yeah, I'll just be like, hey guys, I'm in the middle of my shift right now, but don't worry. I'm just gonna be playing D&D on the side. Don't fucking worry about it. And they're gonna look at me.
Hey guys, I know we're taking enemy fire right now, but it's almost 7 p.m. CST and I got a thing.
Hey, yo, time out, guys. I know we're getting mortared right now, but can we pick this up tomorrow or like in 6 hours?
Just Morse code them that you have D&D across the battlefield. It'll be fine.
And then hit them with the link and tell them to, watch
like,
the stream
and subscribe.
Imagine that gives us world peace, or everybody stops to watch crit fire games. They're like, hold up, world peace. My show's on.
No, I think that that Para being deployed greatly changed the route that Zephyrian's character was taking. I also think
it made me really sad.
That up to the point where Zephyrion was taken, there was a lot of back and forth from you, Para, on what route you wanted to take him, because you were trying to move more into the like necromantic magics and raising undead and stuff like that, but there was a point where you got with me and you're like, I'm not sure this makes sense for like he's trying to be a good guy, but he's also raising all these dead people, and I'm like, it's your character, dude. You do what you want.
No. So my holdup was, how the hell am I supposed to get all these dead bodies around? I don't have a bag of holding because they canonically don't exist.
Yeah.
So how am I like?
They don't exist, so you can't do that shit.
I know, that's what I wanted to do, because like my whole thought process was cool. I'm just gonna use all of my spell slots ever on just maintaining an undead army, because it'd just be really fun to just be like, all right, my minions, go. I'm gonna sit back here, and I'm not gonna do anything, because I'm kind of a jackass. And then you're gonna look at my undead horde and go, why did I let Para do this? And then you know what? I learned from that experience, and I tried my best to not do it again.
And you know what? I wasn't a dick, and I didn't give Zephyrion an undead horde at the end of the game. I thought about it.
I wanted you to. I really wanted you to. I was actually really upset that you didn't. I was like, why didn't he do it?
I was going to originally have Zephyrion raise all of the members of the Black Wolves.
Oh god.
I thought that's where
No.
you're going with it, with the whole command thing, with like the legendary actions for command. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so fucking awesome. We're gonna have to fight the entire. I was like, oh, but then he didn't do it. I'm like, damn it.
No, because here's the thing. I didn't want to traumatize Pat too much.
I did. That's why I
Yeah, we
killed
did.
her.
By the way, Pat's here, guys.
I,
Hi,
Hi, Pat. We wanted to traumatize you.
I love you, Pat.
You
I
should
hope
have gone
know
for
this.
it.
I
I'm just
thought
saying.
about it. I regretted not doing it. Mostly because it's a two-pronged thing, because you guys would have been even more boned when Wolfrind rolled the nat one and then the other shitty fucking roll in the forest outside of the Ebon Keep. If there was three other fucking Black Wolf zombies there.
Yeah.
That fight would have ended a lot quicker. And I was trying to balance between the completely ridiculous, overpowered evil characters you guys made and where you guys were in the story. Which you guys could have won, but originally you guys weren't even supposed to. It was supposed to be 2 ships passing in the night right after you guys left the Ebon Keep. Whereas the kind of crux of it was when Wolfrind flew up above the trees, and then he was spotted. At that point, it was kind of over.
Unfortunately, I had a bad idea.
I regret being in the
World
bathroom when that
stopped me.
decision was made so fucking badly, because I was in the bathroom where I was like, no, don't fucking no.
So, Kuro, how sad were you that actually happened and we didn't get to do lots of the RPs that could have connected a few storylines?
How sad was I?
Yeah, on a
I don't
scale of
know.
1 to 10.
I think I've gotten to a point where I'm like, when you guys do something that's completely out of the realm of what I thought was possible, which you guys do often, not in a good
Yeah,
way.
we do.
No,
I don't.
I think at this point my brain just goes, yeah, of course. Why didn't I think of that?
Like the time when we were trying to escape in the one city in, where was it? Was it Alari? We were trying to escape from the temple, and we're just like, hey, we know somebody that lives here.
Or Riven casually murdering 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys often make decisions, and here's the thing is that you guys make decisions just at, like, mostly in the heat of the moment, and that's when you guys end up doing the kind of stuff that it's like, there was 12 other ways to handle this in my mind, and they picked the 14th one.
At least it's amusing. At least.
Yeah.
So, very disruptive, but
I'm sorry. I hate and love the fact that the way we beat the big bad evil guy was turning him into a chicken and throwing him off a cliff.
I didn't expect that. I forgot
It was
Riven
funny.
had polymorph.
because he never
Oh.
used it.
Wait. Now that we're on this topic, before we get off the topic, can you show us the artwork for all the other arbiters for everyone else's characters? You said you had them.
I do have them.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, let me. I had to find them because I didn't end up throwing all the art in there. I had a bunch of character sheets, so I gotta go through my files real quick. Well, at the end of the Q&A, I'll throw up a slideshow. I'll put together a slideshow of all the arbiters that could have been.
Excellent.
All right. Fess up. Who is your favorite player character?
Who was my favorite player character? In the main campaign?
Mm-hmm.
Or just in general? Because if it's just in general, I have to go with Naiko.
Smart.
Main campaign.
Main campaign. Ooh. Solaire.
Which one's Solaire again?
He's the Dragonborn that Sin played in the main campaign where
Oh yeah,
you
to
guys
fight the
had
Hydra, right?
to fight the false Hydra. I feel like that's a good cop out too. I think my favorite character, like I said at the beginning, was Riven, and then Riven just went downhill fast and was doing a lot of things that I thought were contrary to what his, like, where his arc was going in my mind. And at that point I was like, okay, no, like, I get what he's trying to do. Also, he's kind of cucking himself. So
You did indeed.
I did like Mavra a lot. I think Mavra fell off for me when oh god, you guys were in Umbra, and like, and it's not Mavra's fault. This is more of a Riven fault thing, where Riven talked her into murdering the guy.
See, it's Riven's fault. this is where
and in my mind I was like, I get she's emotionally distressed and all of this stuff, but she, like, it didn't make sense at the time in my mind that Riven would so easily be able to talk her into slitting this dude's throat while he's chained up in the alley.
I remember watching this on deployment.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck just happened?
But
I mean, that was kind of like the whole point.
What do you mean?
I mean, the whole point of the action was that it was out of character for her because she was overrun with grief, and that was the motherfucker that was responsible for the death of her entire family in her eyes.
Right. Yeah. No. And I get that. And it just, like I said, it just kind of threw me at, like, the ease of which Riven was able to talk you into it, because at that point we all knew Riven wasn't, like, super fucking intelligent.
Well, I think you're forgetting the part where she was already beating the shit out of him while he was unconscious. Like, she was pissed. She was not acting like herself at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like they burned down your hometown or anything.
You know, killed my entire family. I didn't know where anybody was. Like, my baby sister was dead. My parents were dead. Everybody that I ever grew up with was dead. I saw dead bodies on the ground. You know, it was a whole thing.
I think this is more of an issue of not asking enough questions. No, I'm kidding. It was a hard choice. Yeah, my favorite character was Shiro.
Yes, knew it.
we all knew it.
I fucking called it.
Because I'm a weeb.
The entire new fucking continent. Oh my god, that was hilarious. I remember you, like, guys came up like the night before the session, and you guys are trying to convince me into playing oh, what the fuck was it? I don't remember what it was. It was something from, like, from Kozuka, because you guys had just, like, redone the entire PDF sheet, and you're like, yeah, we just added this in. You know, Para, you should totally play this. And I'm like,
I think it was a Venara, which are the monkey people.
I'm gonna be real.
No, it was something with lightning.
Shiro's also my favorite character.
It was a Storm Oni.
That's what it was.
Shiro's also your favorite character, Mama? Why is that?
Yeah. Well, because I liked his personality. He was, kind of calm, kind of level-headed. You really actually needed to get to know him for him to open up about like who he was and where he was from. Like we actually had to go through some shit to actually know anything about Shiro, including his real name. Um, and he was just like a solid dude, a solid character, from like a foreign land kind of thing. He had that like shadowy, mysterious thing going on. He was a great negotiator. On top of all of that, he was just a sick ass character, badass in combat.
Yeah, Sin got bored.
I thought it was the Ballista that fucking did that to him.
No, like he was fine with the ballista stuff because he didn't it didn't actually like full on kill him or anything. So like
I know.
that,
I'm just making fun because I was just.
Dude, we were all pissed about that. We're like enough crossbows, goddamn.
that was like the second
No.
session. So let's calm down here.
It was that and the ambush.
So many crossbows.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. In ages where new weaponry surpasses old, it doesn't make sense for a bunch of people to carry a longbow that requires 10 times the skill, 10 times the training, like all of this stuff compared to, oh no, now you just put arrow on and click button and it shoots.
Oh no, I understand. It was just really funny because I remember we talked about it once because we were on the bridge. Like I don't remember if you guys remember the bridge when we had like the explosion going on and everything.
I remember.
And then we were just surrounded by dudes with crossbows. We had to hide underneath the carriage to not be pincushioned. It was hilarious. And we all just agreed right then and there. Anyone who had a crossbow was on site with.
On site.
Because remember, at that point, Zephyrion was a tank. He was the only tank.
I was like, why am I the tank? I'm a cleric.
It wasn't even a war
Technically,
tank.
clerics do make good tanks though, because they got Guardian of Faith, and then they get plate armor, shield.
So yeah, I guess because I had scale armor at the time, so I guess I did have the highest AC. But like, oh my god, I just remember Channel Divinitying so much. Like there was that one time in the Goblin encounter. Where I channeled Divinity, and you're like, all right, what music do you want for this? And I just went, we're doing the Halo theme now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so dumb.
And this is why I brought a paladin to the party.
I think there was a lot of times where you guys were acting out of like normal party build, just because the way you guys built your characters weren't conducive to building like a functionable party and the way that you guys were playing it.
Like I
Pretty
said,
much.
What did I write down in that one thing? It was like, yeah, Paris in the back, fucking looking up butterflies or some shit like that. Like everyone's like doing something stupid.
Yeah, there was a lot of kind of mishaps, like Riven catching Zephyrion and the Bands of Bolaro.
Bands of Bolaro.
Yeah, several times,
God.
not just once.
It
Several
wasn't
times.
just
So funny.
once. How do you mess up your rolls that much? I don't understand this.
To
It
be
still
fair,
happened.
Kuro killed himself how many times?
Yeah, but let's be honest. If Zephyrion hadn't been kidnapped, like the amount of we would have had a Bands of Bolaro counter in the top right hitting Zephyrion, and it probably would have been in the triple digits.
Probably would actually, considering that after Zephyrion, Riven hit. I think Riven hit Usmir like twice.
Like I'm almost half certain that when they went missing, they teleported across the continent and hit Zephyrion in his torture chamber.
So when is he going to make the return of the Iron Bands Bolaro?
Hey, you guys, there's always a chance you'll find them. They're not like it's not like a rare magic item. Just imagine throwing them around on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Oh,
And hitting Para's character again.
please no. No. If it hits Desmond, I will be very upset. I would just like, dude, this is some bullshit. I'm so glad I took like sleight of hand. I'm just gonna take these motherfuckers off real quickly and then toss them right back at that idiot.
And somehow it hits him again.
I would be so confused. I'd just be like, "How? This isn't a boomerang."
You roll a not one for your strength check, and instead you drop them on the floor at your feet and couch yourself in the middle.
Don't give him ideas, please.
You already did. It's too late.
Oh, I had a question. That was the second question. I finally remember what it was. Is there any plans for us to like be able to reuse our Trial, Blade, and Aether characters?
The Trial of Blade and Aether characters, the one that Nico played in, they're still in the world.
Yeah, like, yeah, no. So I'm saying, is there ever gonna be a chance to play something? Because I really wanted to play as Lilith again.
yeah,
Because like I wanted to give that character a try some more.
I mean, do more one shots. That's not an issue.
Yes, excellent.
It just
Maybe
depends
this
on
time.
what era we want to play them in. Are we gonna play them in still like school time era? Are we gonna play them 20 years later in current era of the new campaign? Somewhere in between.
That would be cool.
I need a redemption shot at these. No,
It'd be
don't know
cool
why.
for them to still be in school and learn about everything that happened at Alcourt Keep.
No, I'm good. Please, I can't. I don't need any more riddles. I felt so stupid last time.
Wait, say
Like,
that
and how
again?
long did we? Do you remember how long it took us to do the riddles?
Oh yeah.
It didn't
I
take us
mean,
that
if it wasn't for
long.
Dark, I mean, because Darky was here. Otherwise, it would have taken like 50 years.
Yeah, but Darky
Well,
like
okay.
went to go do something for a while, right? And I think it was the me, Nico, and who else was it? Were you there, Rocky?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Nico
so, like-
lost internet.
Oh my god! I think it was just me and Rocky at one point because I think like Darky had to do something. She went on like a phone call
Yeah,
or
she
something.
did. It was just you and me.
And we had to try and figure this out, and we were just stuck. Like it was something really like easy too, and we were just like,
Intelligence stat. Dump stat.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: when you're best friends with the DM, and he has a kink where he loves to call you, tell you some stupid ass random ass riddle / joke, and then hang up on you.
I don't think that's
You learn a thing or two.
Oh, so that's what's going on.
I think that's funny
That is
stuff.
Kuro's favorite fucking thing to do. He'll just text me a fucking riddle or call me and be like, "Hey, da da da," and I'm like, "I don't know, blah blah blah," and then he's like, "No, da 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 da," click. Okay.
But still, I think it would be fun. At least when it comes to like them being a bit older.
All
I
right,
don't
who
know.
else
I'm
has
down for
questions?
whatever. I just like playing D&D. I'm just here to play D&D with the homies.
You just play
Just here to play D&D with the homies.
catchphrase.
You know, it's a very like true thing because my mom was here several times, like visiting, right? And on Saturday, she's like, "Oh yeah, you want to like go do something?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I've told you this before. I love you, but D&D."
But D&D.
It's a drug.
You know, it was really funny as she sat there behind me watching us. I don't remember what session we were in, but she was just watching like, "This is what you do with your Saturdays," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, my auntie that called me on the phone, she's like, "You need to get some real friends." I was like, "Bitch!"
You heard that? We're not real. Fetch.
I've been a figment of your imagination this entire time.
I mean, Rocky,
Like-
technically you are.
I
not
am.
real.
Yeah, I know. I'm still AI. I know.
Yeah, you're
Like,
still
when-
AI.
Like, when have you ever seen me? I'm just saying.
Lots of times. I've seen you
When?
on a video call.
Yeah, but that's a video call. I could be AI. You never know.
Oh, that. There's no way anybody would ever make that on AI.
You know? Okay, wait. But last time I tried to go visit, I was like, all right, I'm passing through. Let's go grab lunch. ... 12 hours later, I'd already driven through the city. Yeah, that sounds great.
I didn't get the notification until then, and I looked at the date. I was like, "Oh no!"
Nidira had come to Texas one time when Wayne and I were both out there, and we're like, all right, well, let's get dinner. And then, like, like an hour before we were supposed to meet for dinner, she called us. She's like, I'm gonna be an hour later. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Traffic was dog shit, okay?
Yeah, but you find
I had to
time to
drive.
take.
I had to drive through fucking Fort Worth.
You're the most like chronically on your phone, not on your phone person I know.
I'm really not on my phone that much.
Your Snapchat begs to differ.
What do you mean my Snapchat begs to differ?
You know what I mean by that.
Oh, yeah, when I'm driving.
Every single time, I was like, why is she always post a video of her driving?
Because
that's
the
most
song's a
unsafe time to do
motherfucking.
it.
Because
That's
the song's a
crazy.
motherfucking banger and you gotta know about it. Also, I record it while I'm driving. I don't post it until after.
Likely story.
I do.
All right.
It does.
What other?
But well, speaking of, since Kuro did mention this, so what did you think was going to be Riven's arc? You know, when you liked him, like, what do you think he would be?
I thought it was gonna be a redemption arc,
Mhm.
but you continuously, like, you would message me and be like, oh, this would be, I want to do this for Riven, I want to
Yep.
give him the chance to go for the light and stuff like that, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome, this whole redemption arc is gonna be amazing, and then I'd like work out a whole fucking vision thing, and it'd be like the Night Mother, and she'd be like, darkness or light, and once the game started,
Darkness.
I would be like, darkness or light, and you'd be like, well, I don't know, the darkness is pretty cool.
Darkness looks pretty nice right now. See,
And then
In fact-
he used Zephyrion as a fucking excuse. And oh nope, the light's gone. Zephyrion gone. I can't do it anymore.
yeah, Zephyrian's gone. Darkness is. I mean, well, to be honest, like now that this campaign's ended, I really do believe that Riven should have been a paladin, even if we had already had won the party.
Yeah, I don't think it ever hurts to have more than one of one class. Like, you guys are about to plan a campaign where there's 17 rogues in the party.
Well, 18.
18.
But yeah, 18.
Yeah.
With Palaf making a surprise appearance.
Olaf is always there.
Yeah, that
Olaf
one.
stowed away and ran away with Sai.
Palaf's there now. No, but because it just became like a. Even I was like, yeah. It just bits and pieces from what I had originally planned just meshed with stuff that I changed, and then it's just like there was no like cohesion at some point, and I was like, nah, we need to make this at least cohesive. And that's when Riven became like stopped being like shadowy and just fully, embraced.
I think technically in the end, Riven kind of redeemed himself.
Yeah, by turning the battle boss to chicken, but
I mean, like,
That's not
altogether, he decided he was gonna stop being a fuckboy and settled down.
I mean, yeah, he was less of a fuckboy than at the beginning, but still, if I let's just say that if I had to do the character again, I would do a few things differently. I mean, a lot of things differently. But I did enjoy playing him.
I have a question about the new campaign.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Will there be wenching and drinking in this campaign?
What do you mean? Like, will there be winches?
Yes.
I mean, we have Pat here. I mean, we have Pat's character here.
It's
So, I
Pat's a
mean,
bard. I can't
Yeah.
just take away all fuckability.
That is true, because then I'll have to go after the dragons.
Yeah.
Oh no.
If you don't
I've seen
give me
this-
wenches, I will fuck your drag.
No, like, so what we'll do is, so, like, you guys will be visiting mostly port cities. And there are already carousing tables, but, like, we'll have times where you guys can just go carouse, and I'll be like, oh, you guys are at the port, what are you guys doing here? If you guys decide to split up, then that's fine, and we'll do some RP. I have a feeling this I don't think this new campaign, especially with the amount of time that is going to be spent on a boat in the middle of the ocean and stuff like that, it can be a long form campaign without a bit more leaning on the RP aspects, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely does.
Yeah, because I really did enjoy the conversations between our characters, especially after big moments happened.
I do think it's gonna be interesting. I can definitely see some very interesting conversations going on with some of our characters.
Yeah, like it'll be good to let you guys be able to feel each other out and your characters get to know each other a little bit better throughout it, and that's why we're going to be doing the closed quarters, which is where we'll roll a die when you guys are on like a 2-week journey or whatever, and that'll decide which of the players needs to enact a like RP situation with one of the other players, or multiple of the other players. It'll be kind of up to you, and then if we roll a 6 on the die, then it's a group thing. It'll be
Group project.
It should be fun. I think so. And there'll be a lot more team-based things, like especially with ship combat. So ship combat, the ship stat block has a whole list of things that can be done in combat, but like the person who is like steering the ship has to spend every one of their turns steering the ship. If somebody wants to go load a cannon and shoot it, they have to go and say, I'm going to go load the cannon and shoot it. If like there's a whole bunch of actions you can take while on a ship during combat that'll change how a lot of stuff operates and how the battle will go. There will also be your guys' favorite things that you often fail, which are skill challenges. And
yay!
Because I have travel tables for open ocean stuff, so some of the options on the table are like the winds are in your favor, you gain speed and reduce your travel by however many days. Some of them are like a massive storm comes through and now you guys got to do a skill challenge to, you know, batten down the hatches and hold the ship together so it doesn't get battered and damaged in the storm, that kind of stuff.
Is there a chance to just fail one of those bad enough that we just die?
There's a chance that you fail one bad enough that I don't like feasibly, yes. I don't think I would do something like that. I think it'd be more of a risk of like, okay, well now this is we're rolling to see what direction the waves are taking you, and we'll see what island or shore of what continent you guys wash up on.
I see. Anyways, can't wait for the inevitable shipwreck arc.
It'll be coming.
It'll be coming.
No.
Everyone just lands in a personal island.
No, I do not need another ship explosion. That was traumatizing enough for one character.
Not explosion.
I don't need another.
Shipwreck.
Okay,
Right,
but
there's a
knowing
difference.
our characters, we're gonna fuck this up somehow, and we're going to explode.
Well, Sim's character does mainly, he is a fire sorcerer.
Oh no.
On a ship.
On a wooden ship.
On a wooden boat, which, well, first of all, most boats are wood. It's not like it's out of the realm of it's not like you guys are riding around on a fucking 2x4 and everyone else is riding around on fucking steel doors. That's not how it is. But you guys will have a smaller ship. It's a caravel, like one of the smaller versions of a caravel that only takes like 5 people to sail it. So we at least got
So we'll be the only ones.
You know? Nice.
Yeah, very nice. At least at the beginning. I mean, we are.
Yeah,
We're
it's
a
the
little
thing
level
about, like, knowing us though, we're gonna see like a frigate full of like not even like this a giant like frigate guarding like a mercantile vessel. We're gonna be like, yes, we're taking it on, and then we're gonna like, I don't know, squeezed by the generosity of our DM.
I don't think that's gonna work anymore.
I don't think so either, dude. I don't.
It'll
Yeah.
be fine. It'll be fine.
What's the
Yeah.
worst that can happen?
There's be pretty bad, but
Yeah.
no, I think you
Got
guys
to
will be
make new
fine.
characters now.
It's I hesitate to like style it more like a West Marches where you guys have to track like everything down to the most minute detail and but there will be things like you guys if you guys have heavy ship damage, if you guys get in some ship battles and your ship loses HP, there's only so much you can do out in the middle of the sea, so you'll have to like dock and work on getting the ship repaired and stuff like that. There's also ship upgrades that you can do, and you guys could also eventually, if you wanted to, buy a larger ship or have a larger ship commissioned, that kind of stuff.
And when we do get onto these ports, are there like any like explore the city type of options, like do some like side quest while we wait?
Yeah, otherwise why are you sailing to these ports?
Well, to repair the ship.
Well, to sell bounty.
Well, we're
Or maybe we get hired to
Well-
like, strike on someone's mercantile vessel. Like we, like maybe we're debaucherous.
Yeah,
don't
well,
know.
and there's
we
a
have
lot of
Bard,
ways,
yeah.
So like there's a lot of ways you guys could do pirates. Like you guys could sign on with one of the factions and be labeled as privateers and specifically go after ships that they want you to go after and like protect their ships. Like there's the Saffron Winds trade union, which is a Kozuken trading company that has a huge standing in the Sultanate. Like their leader was granted the title of Marquis and rules over one of the port cities there. There's the Basra Trading Guild. Like there's different areas you guys can explore and go to, and the best thing I think about pirates is if you guys get bored of fucking where you are, you could just sail to the other side of the fucking world.
Without waiting like 5 business days.
fuck this. I'm on a boat, motherfucker. Don't you ever forget.
We are on a boat. And since we were talking about the next campaign, did you expect us to make the characters that we did, Kuro?
For the new campaign?
Yeah.
I think I spent. So I already knew who you were playing,
Yeah.
Rocky. I've known who you were
Mhm.
playing for a year and a half.
For a long time. Yeah. Pretty much.
For
So, like,
for
me
everybody
aside.
else, for everybody else, Wolfriend, or Pat sent me the first rendition of his character, I think 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a character I had statted out for another campaign that ended up not panning out. So I'm like, I have this roguish treasure hunter type. That's perfect. Anyways.
Yeah, I think the biggest ones were Sen switched his character that he was going to play like 3 weeks ago. Less than that, probably. Because in his mind, how the campaign ended with Captain Cedric getting away with Zephyrion's body meant that the Iron Brand was still around, and it wouldn't make sense for his original character to leave that area if there's still Iron Brand to take out. And then, of course, Luca had 17 different characters that she sent me and basically said, I don't know which one I'm playing. I'll let you know 2 days before we play. And so...
Even today, we have no clue.
even today, it's still a mystery. No, she ended up.
Is there gonna be like 5 minutes where you're not bullying me?
No.
Not at all.
I'm just saying, if Victor got bullied for being a child, I'm going to bully you for being a child.
You won't know I'm a child.
Yes, I will. 100% will. I'll smell it.
We're getting into Riven territory here.
Hey, no.
Well,
My child senses
let's all
things.
be clear. Mava for an elf was on the young side.
She was. She really was.
So kind of just cemented everything we thought about Riven up to that point.
Yeah. Luckily, Riven saw somewhere else.
I think the biggest one was gonna be for me, Hera, because I had to. I think, Hera, you had a couple of ideas. Your first idea, I think, was you just wanted to play Lilith,
I did, yeah.
and I talked you out of that.
Yeah. A Dampier on the ship wouldn't have been fun.
I think the main reason I tried to talk you out of it was I wanted this to be a new campaign in the largest sense of, like, I didn't want to be revisiting characters that you've already played.
Yeah, I just didn't want to make another Blood Hunter.
Yeah, and that's why, because like you had said that, and I was like, well, you like, there's other kinds of blood hunters, or you could go this route or this route, and then you ended up just going Nazi scientist.
Yes, but I love my Nazi scientist.
Don't we all
And by love,
our
I mean
Nazi
he's
scientists?
okay. I have to get writing on his backstory because I just got back from my training, right? So I finally have time to write, and it's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I think he will be fun to explore. I think it is going to be a point of mitigating how antagonistic he is to the rest of the party.
Yeah, I already wrote. I'm gonna write into it that he's not gonna be as antagonistic. Like, it was just a job for him.
Yeah,
Like it's not gonna be like it was his life. He was
here's-
like bought into it.
Here's my thing: is I worry he's going to get thrown off the ship in the middle of the ocean.
You know, I would hope not, because like I said, I want to play him more as just like a older gentleman that just kind of does what he does for money.
Yeah, he's kind of I feel like he's supposed to be kind of disillusioned with the whole adventure thing.
Yeah, like I feel like that's what I really want to play him as. Like, it just I
But
can't be on the mainland, so I guess I'm just gonna try and make money wherever I can.
Like, he's getting too old for this shit. He's in his late 30s, right?
Mhm.
Late 30s, early 40s, somewhere around there. I can't remember his exact age.
Yeah, I think it's like late 30s.
Yeah. So, like, and he's a human, so he doesn't have a shit ton of time left.
Yeah, he's gonna be fun. I can't wait. Like, I'm actually genuinely looking forward to seeing how I can play him out. I'm trying to take it to heart. Like, I'm trying not to be antagonistic. I'm like, damn, I already wrote it in, so it's gonna be really fun to try and play it off as like, dude, it was a job. Just like I'm here, I'm under contract with you. Like, why would I try and do anything to my employer? You're paying me money, or I'm getting money from being here.
I mean, if Para's character does get thrown off the ship, that would follow the timeline of Para having to make 2 characters every main campaign.
You know, I already have another.
Goddamn.
I'm telling you now, if I have to make another character, I'm just gonna fucking shoehorn Lilith in. It's just gonna happen. I'm not making another fucking Blood Hunter. I
Well, Kuro,
refuse.
you have to keep him alive.
I'll just be picked up on a port somewhere. Be aight.
I mean, we'll see. Lilith might be part of the bad guys this time.
Perfectly fine to me. I'll be a spy. It'll be great.
I think I think there's gonna be a whole arc where you guys like show up on an island and you see like these strange sets of footprints, and after searching for actually no, this actually sounds like a really fun thing. I'm not gonna carry on this because I kind of want to use it now.
The dagger.
Dang. Oh no, not the dagger.
Oh god.
The dagger returns.
Victor or Para got a spot on because I got rid of the dagger and I don't know what I did with him. Originally, when he was dead, I think I just stranded him on an island. Is what I did now.
If the dagger's an enemy that we have to kill, I will fucking die.
You guys just come up to a errant island in the middle of the Arashi depths, and as you pull up, you see these like massive lion footprints, and you get off the ship and you turn around and see this massive Leonin on the deck of the ship, and he just says, "The dagger appreciates you bringing a vessel for his escape."
And then he whips out a giant hammer with daggers tied onto it. Oh my god, it'd be great. I want to see him come back. It'd be great.
That would go hard, actually.
It would. And then he just throws like, because he obviously the ribs are over now, right? He's just throwing rib bones. It's gonna be great.
No, he doesn't have the bow.
He has the bones.
I can't believe the shit that has fucking happened with the characters that we've played. Fuck's
You know,
sake.
Yeah.
It's so either my characters are really fleshed out with a lot of backstory, or they're memey garbage that gets something banned. There's no in between.
Look,
This is what Captain Ice
look.
thinks.
I don't think anybody has the fucking gravity of the fact that we turned the big bad evil guy into a fucking chicken and threw him off a cliff.
No,
To be
that's not
honest-
that bad.
No, that's not bad. To be honest,
I'm
that's
still-
just mostly because of the death spell, Unriven, and I was like, that.
Oh my god.
I'm still like upset that we didn't summon everyone the second we got into the room. That's what I'm more like, wait, this was an option the entire. What do you mean this was an option the entire time?
I mean, we're just playing it on hard mode.
We
just kinda-
always play on hard mode. We go, you know what? That's the sensible option. Let's not fucking do that. This is why I'm getting thrown off.
There was a small army that showed up when you guys used the Band of Calling. And like they were there waiting, just kind of waiting for you guys to call.
They were like, they're probably dead.
And I had to like think about, because like Lucian's his own thing, so like I won't talk too much because he's still alive, and could come up in the new campaign, but he's got his own shit going on. Like he's pretty disillusioned with the Night Mother and the gods in general. But at the time, he didn't want the world to end.
Whatever happened to the other two? What were they called? Oh my god. I don't remember them now.
Well, who are you talking about?
Was Lucian one of the ones that was along with like the other two like
Oh, okay. So there's
envoys
two.
are like-
There's two Lucians.
oh, okay, I get them mixed up.
Yeah. So there's Lucian, who was a member of the Ebon Fang. Lavra dropped out. And then there's Lucian, who was part of the Veil, which are aligned with the Night Mother as well. Two different Lucians, two different places.
Got you.
And,
I started mixing them up in my head.
Yeah, and like I try to have everyone have a different name, but sadly there's common names still. So not everyone will successfully have a different name.
So whatever happened to them though? Like the crux of the question.
To which Lucian?
Yeah, to the one in the Veil. Like, actually, what happened to the people with the Veil? I don't remember what happened to them.
They're still kicking. Like they're still around. You guys didn't try to contact them, so they didn't make it there to help you.
That's kinda funny.
They could have. Because two of them had are like holy divine relics of the Night Mother, like the halberd that Riven had for a little while. One of them had the
Yeah, I don't-
daggers, and one of them had the bow.
Speaking
Wait,
of that halberd, would that halberd actually would have killed Riven if he would have kept it, even if he failed the roll to?
Oh, if you continued to fail the roll, yeah, the halberd would have continued to wear you down, and eventually you would have died, and it would have been like permadeath thing. And I think
Fun.
that spans because you came to me with the idea of the halberd at the same time as you were like, I want to like start getting closer to the Night Mother and reaching more towards the light and all that stuff, and then went the complete opposite direction. And I was like, well, the halberd already was built.
Yep, exactly. I was like, ugh. And yeah, so basically Riven would have died in that case.
Yeah, and it would have been slow going. Like it got more like worse and worse as time went on. Like there was, because you had the like necrosis building across your body for a while, and it continuously got worse and worse.
Interesting.
But I don't know who you would have tried to play as if Riven would have perma-died. And Riven died a lot, and I brought you back twice just through RP.
Yep, exactly. And then, well, then again, Riven did make his saving throws, so he did at least have some good rolls there. Like, I think he got like a 20 in that 20 one time when Riven was he like a shadow sorcerer that had the ability to just like get back up after like getting downed during the Hydra moment? So there were like plenty of times that Riven didn't die.
Yeah.
But he was close because of good rolls. But as for a character, that would have been a bit more difficult. I did have some concepts, but nothing like full on. Like there was this monk that I looked up that was planning on playing. Who, because you did mention that what were the elemental people called? I can't remember the race.
The Oni?
Not the Oni. They're like elemental.
Oh, the Genasi?
Based. The Genasi, yeah. Only Genasi could be monks because of their attunement to the.
It's less that only Genasi can be monks, and it's more that the primary, like especially, like in the lore that I had written, was that the monks of this world would put elemental aether crystals, and they would like
in their bodies.
Like cut open their bodies and put aether crystals in there to start attuning their bodies with the elements, and that's how Genasi are born in the world.
Yeah, because it's gonna be like a Genasi monk.
Yeah, that would have been cool too.
But he's actually pretty cool from what I've. But then our party would have needed like a. What was it that we need? You need a healer. So in that case, I probably would have brought my elf back, my druid.
So, Luca said that she got hit by a tornado.
Well, that's great. Oh no! It's always when we're doing this.
Yeah. It's Murphy's Law, right? That's the one that's like, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. Some shit like that.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep, that is the one. Yakuro, do you have some questions for us, since we made some very, very horrendous decisions sometimes?
I had one more question I really wanted to know.
Yeah.
So, I know at some point I wanted to try and head back up to the keep because I wanted to get like, because I know in like my story I tried to like write the beginning of like the resistance and everything. Whatever actually happened then, like as for your like headcanon for like when Zephyrian got taken back to Allcourt, whatever happened to like Alara and everyone else that was up there? Like were they just like all killed after he was thrown out?
Oh, like all the people from your backstory?
Yeah.
No, like they were most likely kept alive because, like, there wasn't really. It made more sense for them to keep them alive to torture you more with the thought of them being stuck there, and then like your brother. It was still he was in the ranks of the Iron Brand and still is.
Yeah. Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot he never showed up. Huh.
Yeah, if we would have had like you guys not be captured by the Zephyrion's group, then you guys would have ended up going and infiltrating Allcourt and having to go through and probably would have ran into him because he was in Allcourt Keep, he just wasn't in the dungeon area, he wasn't part of the ritual directly. So,
And in that case, it would be the main campaign having to infiltrate instead of the one-shot characters?
yeah, because you guys wouldn't have been in prison, so there would have been no reason for the one-shot characters to go there other than to get the information that you guys were looking for, but you wouldn't have had a reason to jailbreak anybody. I mean, we would have found some reason, like we still would have done a one-shot. I don't know if it would have been the same one-shot, but yeah, I don't know how that would have played out because it wouldn't have been the same people, I guess is the best way to put that.
Also, speaking of which, what was the ending of the one shot that we never actually finished, which was the whole gods plane?
Yeah.
Oh, where you all got shifted through time and everything like that.
Yeah, that one. Like, when would that take place?
You're asking when that would take place?
Yeah, when, and like what was the ending if we are, if are we planning on getting back to that?
Well, we can. I completely forgot about it for the longest time. It has an ending. I don't want to ruin the ending. Obviously there's some god shit that's going on, and it ends with you guys like fighting a god. Yeah, I mean, you guys are still, we left off you guys on the black sand beach with the massive black tower ahead of you, so like feasibly still could do that. I don't think.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one.
No, I don't think you were there for that
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
no,
I thought you were talking about the one where like we had the level 20 characters and we were like sieging a city or whatever.
That's
that one. That's
the Kozuka one in the first Great War of Kozuka.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I thought we were supposed to have like a second part.
Yeah, there's a whole second part that involves sieging the city and killing the daimyo lord there. We can still go back and do that one too. Yeah,
Yeah, we have like a list.
We would jump around, and there would be times where somebody would tell me, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, like either the day before or the day of, and I'd have to rush to build something out. And so a lot of the time it was just a matter of, first of all, we have all these one shots that we've done, but this person who's missing was a main person in this one shot, and this person was not, and this person was, so we had to keep making new one shots because it kept being different people who were missing.
I'm sorry.
But like we can always go back to those one shots. Those events are still in existence and happened. And the thing with the one shots that happened, especially in the past or out of the realms of time and space, is they you can go back and do them anytime. So
the reason why I remember that one is because Sin played the monk, and he discovered monk in that one shot, which became the catalyst for sorry. In the god one, yes. Yeah, the God one, yeah. And then it became the catalyst for what transpired after. Which was what was the little weasel's name? Not the weasel, the little creature that basically punched us to death.
Oh,
The evil.
the little
Vashik?
quickling,
Vashik,
Vashik.
yeah, Vashik.
Yeah.
Vashik.
Yeah, Vashik was a menace.
I never hated a character more than Vashik.
He's dead now,
Good
though.
character,
So
but jeez, that's good. Please don't bring him back. I beg thee. That was horrendous. Please.
what kind of man would I be?
The stunning, the movement speed. That was horrendous.
All right, I'm gonna throw these all together in one file. Now that I have them, file, export from Photoshop.
Oh, so we're not going to ask any questions?
I am gonna ask some questions here in just a moment.
Okay. I'd like.
Para, why are you such a cuck?
Okay, so that one actually has an answer. So you see, I'm a cuck because the story demands it of me. And hear me out. Let's use Victor as an example, right? Victor originally was supposed to be a very smart boy, but at every fucking instance, why is there a kid here? God damn it! Fuck these guys!
In their defense, you were a child.
I swear to God, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be the best thing. I can't wait to use this on someone else.
Oh man, yeah, no, like
And it wasn't even that young. Like, by the end, he was like in his early 20s.
no,
He was like 20 or 21.
when
Because
you
he was
started,
18.
yeah, he was 18 when the campaign started. But as you do, Para, you made him a little twink, so he looked like he was 14. Do you disagree with that?
You know, no comment.
That's what I fucking thought. Oh,
Wow, stop
man.
making twink characters. God.
No, like
It's not my fault
made-
ChatGPT likes twinks.
Here's the thing: is I've also made art for because I feel like he would have had the most change because of how young he is. So I do have art of what I imagine Victor would look like 20 years later, and it's pretty good.
Oh, now I kind of want to see this.
Yeah, I'll throw it up here in just a minute. I think, man, I think it's tough to narrow down questions for you guys specifically, because as much as I know I think about the different things I had to go through and do and the reactions to your guys' decisions, I know you guys have a chat that I'm not involved in, a Discord chat that is specifically to fuck me over. So
The secret messages.
but there was moments where like Pat going directly for the Uber curse sword, which confused me, but also I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna stop him. So I guess Pat, that's a big question. Out of all the cursed items in the Evan Keep, why is that the one that you immediately were like, oh, mine?
I don't know why. I thought I'd be able to handle it.
Yeah. Here, like, and I understand like the thought of like, oh, it's a great sword. It was put here, and I use great swords, but at the same time, I feel like there could have been questions asked, like, how much do I know about this sword?
Yeah.
It was in the list of items I sent you that you knew about. I didn't have a bunch of
Right.
information attached to it, but it was in the list of items that I had sent you that you knew about. And I feel like that really shifted your character at the very end of the campaign. If that makes sense. Where do I want to throw this in? Can I just...
Just saw a large sword and thought, hey, guts sword, I need to have it.
Huge sword, like the guy from Burke? Nuts, I think.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm still kicking myself over picking up the Omega cursed sword. It's just such an out of character thing for Wolfland, I think, because he's supposed to be good with cursed items. He's supposed to be specifically trained to deal with them.
Yes. Agreed. However, I felt like up to that point we had established that pretty much nobody in the order except for maybe Fenrir had actually utilized more than one cursed item at a time.
Was that established?
Yeah, well, I feel like it was. Every other member that you interacted with only had one cursed item. And we had talked about how, like, the whole, like they have to go through, you guys have to go through a whole process of finding out which item you can actually bear to control and all that stuff, and you happen to be able to have like a high affinity with the Dark Knight's Aegis, and that's why you ended up with it. But yeah, every single member of the Iron Brand that you dealt with, and you didn't necessarily, we didn't end the campaign deal with Fenrir, but Fenrir has 3 cursed items that she controls. But no other member of the Ebon Fang wields more than one cursed item, because a lot of them are just so potent.
Wolfram was like, I can join that list. How hard could it be?
And here's the thing: is like it could have very much turned out in your favor. Like if you would have been able to consistently make the rolls you needed to make, like you could have garnered some sense of control over it. But sadly, the rolls were not in your favor. I just threw it's on stream, and also in the reference material, the alternate arbiters of pride. For you guys specifically, there wasn't one for Uzmir because the Harbinger couldn't become an arbiter of pride, but those are the ones for your guys' characters.
Neato.
And then Tara, I'll send. Actually, I can tell you some reference material to what I imagine Victor looks-ish like 20 years down the line. I will say he's gone from a twink to a Chad.
Ooh.
Oh, damn. Yeah, he's looking like Jace.
Jace Bellerin from Wizards of the Coast or Magic the Gathering.
I was talking about fucking Arcane Jace, but that works too, I guess.
Yeah,
my boy's out there doing things in his freaking poisonous botanical garden.
I figured he would have gone back to Ravel eventually, just to continue his training and trade of the poisonous plants and whatnot.
Possibly like to get more stuff for his garden.
Yeah. But yeah, no. And then, oh man, Victor. I guess my biggest question for Victor is, how the fuck is there a kid here?
Because I wanted to play Aether Engineer, and it was this cool. And I'm like, okay, cool. What is graduating age? And he said around 18. And I said, okay, he's about to graduate then. Like,
Yeah,
should
but
I have
I mean,
made him a
like,
professor? Like, fuck.
No, but you could have been like, oh, he's an alumnus from the Cinderspire Aether Academy, you know, like, all right.
No, because like that wouldn't have really like
what I
made as
did.
much sense to me.
Yeah, that's what Pat did for his Aether Engineer.
No, I don't know. Like in my brain, I wanted it to be like a fresher type of like, yeah, no, like everyone's so fucking edgy, okay? I just wanted someone who
I
wasn't
agree.
edgy.
Like there was a lot of edginess, and I don't think that's. I think there's one not edgy character in the new campaign.
Who's
And-
not edgy? I'm not edgy.
You're a Nazi scientist.
He's a chill Nazi scientist. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
Okay. Oh
We're
gosh.
like, just think about him. He's not that Nazi.
I mean, like, he's killed a lot of people.
On accident, malpractice is a way to get better.
You killed your master on accident?
No comment.
No comment.
You know, maybe if I was a little better, it would have been on accident, quote unquote.
I think one thing when you're building out the greater backstory for Dr. Desmond Leach, that you can take into account probably a little bit better now that the campaign, the first campaign has ended, is the Iron Brand is still around. They have much smaller sects, chapters that are split up and don't work quite as frequently together and stuff like that because so many of their ranks had been disrupted. So maybe there's still some Iron Brand members who Desmond knows and who know Desmond and might be looking for him. That's kind of up to you. But yeah, they are still around.
Probably. Because he's probably dipping out of Dodge.
Yeah, and there was a.
He said the money's dried up. I'm fucking outie.
Yeah, I think it was a mix between that and the fact that there wasn't direct oversight to keep you there at that point.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. Like, it's definitely gonna be really fun to write, like, what happened at the end from the perspective of, of Desmond, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna be him going, like, fucking ruffians.
I think. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot that we'll be able to explore.
I'll be a little more careful.
I'm also gonna be I've been building a bunch of like island chains and stuff like that would just be dotted around the world, so there'll be plenty of like islands and stuff for you to explore. I know that Ben's character already has some, like, he was on a pirate ship for like I think it was like a year or 2 years, something like that, before the start of the campaign, and so like he has some contextualization and contacts in that world. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
You know, I think it's gonna be really funny when he's like saying he's like the different like people he's worked under, and he's just gonna like. I think it'd be really fucking funny if he had no care for who he previously worked under to the point where he messes up the names of everyone he's ever worked under. Like, yeah, no, I've worked for like I don't know, like some stupid name like blah this the Iron Band. I don't know, they fucking hired twinks as their like their like voice, their face. They're really popular with the women.
Yeah, I don't know. Mavra had minimal edge. She was a cinnamon roll until you killed her whole family. I didn't kill her whole family. Actually, most of her family's still alive, canonically. Thank you very much.
That's true.
Who said that?
Mavra or Lucas said it in chat.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun though. Like I said, I think
I just want to there's a difference between killing your whole family and making you think that your whole family's dead. Big difference.
Yeah, agreed.
Both are crimes. One is less severe. I don't know which one, but one of them is.
Where is? We did right.
She was a cinnamon roll, I guess. I don't think she was a cinnamon roll. I think she was just inexperienced with the world, and so she seemed like a cinnamon roll. She was still a trained killer at the beginning of the campaign.
It's the bright trained killer.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that happened throughout the campaign that probably, if done differently, would have widely affected the end. I think a big kind of sticking point that led you guys to where you ended up was when the piece of Kalenroth was just kind of manhandled out of the chest, like unwrapped and grabbed onto without any further investigation into what was up with it. That a lot of that could have been, mitigated with slightly better saving throws and stuff like that. So it necessarily wouldn't have been attached to Mavra as it happened to get to. I will like there was a lot of things that could have happened differently and that could have changed the route that things were going. I think because of how things were handled, it led you guys more on a track to further follow closer with stuff in Wolfrand's backstory, which I think put a lot of centralization on Wolfrand. Which I think if some other choices were made, probably would not have had Wolfrand as the centralized figure of the party in the final part of the campaign. For sure. There was a lot of stuff that I had planned for Riven and Mavra that we didn't really get to explore as much because of what had happened. I think after being possessed by Kalenroth, I think that a lot of avenues that would have been taken were kind of thrown to the wayside in the aims to, you guys had just kind of accelerated in a way of going in this one direction to get this stuff with Kalenroth and Mavra over with, that we kind of just ran past a lot of open avenues that otherwise we would have been able to explore.
You give an example. I'm curious now.
Give an example of some of the avenues.
Yeah. And also, I agree, Darky. He does look like Sylvanas.
What happened? Oh.
Darky says that, yeah, Dark Mavra looks like Sylvanas, and I agree. Like a Dark Ranger in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I was like, for an elf, how would the corruption of Kalenroth manifest? And I was like, she would be more Fey-like in general, so extended features, like extended, more drawn-out features and stuff like that. That's why it ended up like that, because the elves from the Fae have ears like that. Yeah. Anyway, avenues that could have been that or plans that I had to explore. Riven had stuff sent to his old cabin where him and his father lived.
Yep, and it's still there.
And his father was walking around. I changed what was going on with your dad towards the end because I knew he was looking for you, but the original plan for him was to be an enemy that was aligned with the Iron Brand, and he would have been brought back by oh god, what was his name, the necromancer from the Iron Brand that you guys had encountered before you even got to Umbra.
You mean that motherfucker who kept getting away?
Yeah,
Shoot, what was his name?
I don't know, and I made him, so I should definitely know his name. I'll look it up real quick because I have all
I
of
never
them.
bothered remembering it because I kept thinking he was gonna die, and he kept not dying.
But technically, after your guys' first encounter, he was dead. He just came back as undead. He was like a pseudo lich at that point. Yeah, his name was Magnus.
That's the
motherfucker.
one.
Yeah, so originally the plan was for Riven's dad to have been brought back by Magnus and to be one of the higher ranking members in the Iron Brand. And after getting reports of you guys, specifically like people matching Riven's description, he would go out and search for Riven and try to. There would have been this whole father son thing of exploring Riven's past as well as like who Riven would be in the future, and that kind of fell off because you guys had gone these other routes. And I was like, well, I've already said that his father is around, so I want to close that circle. And I was like, okay, well, instead of being part of the Iron Brand and doing it that way, I'll have him be a messenger from the Night Mother along with Lucian to give you guys the ancient tome that gave you guys the boons at the end of the campaign, and made his story a little bit more apologetic at the end rather than antagonistic.
Interesting. That would actually been really, really interesting. Because I know that I mentioned it previously that I did want Riven to go back to his house.
But you had
Since
ordered armor and had it sent to your house.
Exactly.
You never picked up.
Yeah, I know, because we went on a airship that just blew it up, and then yeah.
Yeah, that was with how everybody's schedules were lining up. I was just like, I just needed the consistency for a little bit to be able to plan out as we were heading towards the end of the campaign. And I think given more consistent schedules, if we would have been able to keep going through that with I think the campaign probably would have lasted probably another few months.
Yeah, most definitely.
But
I think.
I also think it was cool to get to explore the other areas of Bethardan and get to see the one-shot characters everybody made, who many of which are still around and kicking, except for Riven's in the desert one.
And also, Wolfred never gave Riven the message from his uncle.
Oh,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Wolfred had
Wait.
a message from Riven's uncle. He never gave it to him.
yeah.
Very sad. I was waiting for that. I was like, okay, so when's Wolfred going to give it back to him?
Oh,
Yeah.
Never now, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was just waiting. I was like, I knew from like when Wolfred rejoined. I was like, okay. I'm just not gonna mention that until now.
I completely forgot.
I knew.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Well, that was important information. That's
Whoops.
forever gone to the wind.
Well, now
Wolfriend is fucking dead.
Yep, and Riven is an alcoholic now, which could have been different if you would have given him the message from his uncle. But
exactly. Wow, Wolfriend, even after death.
no. I think there's a lot that we could have explored. I think that the game changed courses pretty hard. There was some time where I feel like you guys all probably thought that I was beating up pretty heavily on you guys, which was not like the full intention, but it was more of like, hey, there's consequences to actions kind of thing, which I don't know if that got across or if there was just like a 2 or 3 month period where everyone was like, oh god, our DM is a dick. Either way, I feel like that also turned around. I know there was a lot of contention, and Sin's not here to talk about this or defend it or anything. But when you guys first encountered, or when the party in general first encountered Corso Riggs on the road before he I don't want to say he framed you for murder, because Mavra definitely murdered those people.
Definitely did, and she's not here to say no, so
Fucking narked on us.
Narked on you. He had turned invisible and disappeared, and Sin was very upset that he couldn't smell the guy, and there was a lot of back and forth between Sin and I on that, and my thoughts on it were invisibility, while yes, can be circumvented, in that situation it didn't make sense for it to be circumvented by you turning into a dog and smelling him. Like, but we eventually moved past that, and then you guys had to deal with being framed for murder. That's when you guys ended up getting into the city and rescued by now we're gonna see some world anvil stuff. Important NPCs, Nidira NPCs, Hekaret NPCs. Yeah, John Zor rescued you guys along with the leader of the Adventurers Guild, Darvok Blackscale, and got you in through the sewers, and you guys had holed up in John Zor's safe house for a while before being able to clear your names. But
yeah. So what would happen if Usmir did not kill Corso? Like, would anything big have changed, or it was just be like minor detail like Corso?
What would have happened if Usmir hadn't killed Corso?
Yeah, like actually, like, you know, respected Rev's decision. Like, you know, let's let him go.
Corso would still be around. He would have left and went to Granheim. That was his original plan. Was John Zor was going to throw him on a boat and send him to Granheim, so he would have probably been one of the possible people to run into in the Granheim campaign coming up. I think the main thing that happened when he was killed was the amount of rage at that time, and this happened just after you guys freed Mavra and Kavra from Kalenroth's hold. That essence of Kalenroth found his body and possessed it, and that's why he was there at the end of the campaign on one of the pillars. It was because it used that rage and that hate at the end of Corso's life as a kind of holding point to possess the body and take it there. So there would have been a different person filling that void in the ritual other than Corso.
So burn the bodies after they die. Got it. Good lesson.
Sure. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to handle it. I think that really threw when Uzmir did that, I was not expecting it. So it kind of threw me as well, but it did affect the end of the campaign where that was going. I would have liked to been able to explore more of Corso. But at that point he had made enough of an impact on you guys that at least one of you thought that it was better that he die. Which happens. And when one NPC falls, I got an infinite number that I can make. Which is both the best and the worst thing about being a DM is I gotta be everybody else. Which allows me to explore a lot, but also makes it to where oftentimes I don't get to explore some of the ones that I want to explore more. I think it's very true that oftentimes players, like you guys, focus on the NPCs that I don't expect you to focus on.
Such as?
I mean, there was a lot of... Oh man, I think it's hard for me to pull out specifics for this campaign.
The pocket gnome. I think it's one of them.
Roderick was definitely... At the time where you guys were at the magic shop, I had rolled for magic items, and I stopped for a long time ago. I stopped rolling for like D&D magic items, and I just started like going and generating. I was like, give me 30 ideas for what a magic item could do, and then I would just like reskin it to whatever I wanted to, and there was like a lens of identify or some shit. I was like, nah, this is a gnome. And that's where
I became the
Roderick
gnome.
was born. And so Roderick the Pocket Gnome is... It was in Uzmir's possession. I assume somebody probably picked it up off the ground in that final boss room. If they didn't, then it's still sitting under the auspice and holdings of Allcourt Keep. So, yeah.
Then we're gonna have a very angry gnome.
It could be.
But that also leads to my other question. Which was your favorite NPC, like connected to a main character, like, you know,
Which
for
was
example,
my
Wolfrin's
favorite
friends.
NPC?
Yeah, that's connected to like one of our characters. Like in Wolfrin's case, it was his.
Like the Black Wolves, or the Ebon Fang in general. I think my favorite of the Ebon Fang, outside of Wolfrin, obviously, because Wolfrin's Batman. But I mean, great. Sorry, Wolfrin's great, is what I meant to say.
Dogman.
I really liked playing Erymanthus, the leader of the Black Dwarfs. I really liked that character. I don't know if you guys did. I know he was loud, obnoxious, and boisterous. But he's still around. Him and his wife Lunala lost their baby, and he turned down a pretty dark path. Like I have worked out where a lot of the surviving members of the events of the campaign have done in the last 20 years, and I've been trying to figure out where they're positioned, and Erymanthus is definitely one of those characters who I felt like was very jolly and kind of an enigmatic happiness had always like exuded his life and around him, and he always tried to make the best of things. And just after they lost the baby, he just couldn't handle it the way that he normally handled things. and he kind of dropped off the map, and a lot of the black boars had died. The Iron Brand was hunting them down, and him and Lunala managed to escape. And I know where they are now, and you guys, I don't think it's super likely that you'll run into them because they're not like hanging out in a random port. But I do know where they are, and I know what they're doing. So I also really liked. Oh, I really liked Arya. I think Arya was a really good character.
Was past tense.
Well, I think in Wolfran's upbringing and backstory, I think Arya played more than played. She became that little sister that really helped shape Wolfriend, like that figure. As like, been all the Black Wolves played a major part in Wolfran's upbringing and background, but I think Arya being that following kid sister, looking up to Wolfriend, that's why she was the one I decided that would be, or I was like, this is the only one that's gonna be brought back, because I felt like even though you had the relationships you did with the others, I felt like hers was probably the most hard hitting.
Oh, I thought it was just because I Finger of Death her.
No, because Finger of Death, like, after that, there was always in my mind, like I had said earlier, that that I thought about just turning all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, I like, after thinking harder, I was like, no, Arya is going to be the most effective use case here, and doing any more than this would be twisting a knife that is already buried in Wolfran's chest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but imagine the final fight crash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would not have stayed
It would have been
sane.
glorious.
Yeah. And then I'm not always, and my thoughts aren't always going to be the, like, we'll never know how that would have played out. I do think having just her there gave, it obviously affected Wolfran's abilities in the final fight. It also, I wanted Wolfran to still have that chance at redemption, which I think that gave him. I think if you guys would have used the Band of Calling beginning, I think Wolfran would still be alive. Uzmir and Ben and I had discussed it in depth about Uzmir, because I'd already had the ritual and the Harbinger's place in that ritual worked out long before we had the final fight, and I had explained to him on many times. I was like, the more and more you use the mask, the less and less you are yourself. Eventually, there is no more Uzmir. We had talked about a different ending where, instead of being taken into the Night Mother's care and becoming her charge as the Watcher of the Veil, he would, in his place there on the ritual dais, would be like a little slime. That would be like the reincarnation of Uzmir, but without the intellect and intelligence that he had as Uzmir, but would have been the primal form before the Night Mother had granted him the sentience that that turned him into the Harbinger, which I think would have been a cool aspect to go with. But I think as the Watcher of the Veil, I think then had chosen that route because it gave his character the chance to interact more readily with the world. And I think that's big, because I do think that we could revisit these characters in a one-shot where, like later on in a one-shot, where maybe not this campaign, but the campaign after, maybe there's another world-ending event where the Watcher of the Veil and maybe Riven Levelure and Mavra and Victor have to come back out of retirement as level 20 characters to do this one-shot thing. Not sure how Wolfriend would play into that, but
The spirit of Wolfriend, stay strong.
well, I mean, and I don't know if Luca has talked much with Wolfriend, but I know that Luca's new character, the daughter of Riven and Mavra, has communed with Wolfriend's spirit. So like there is still some connection there, obviously. As Wolfriend's spirit wasn't destroyed, it was just taken to the realm of which his afterlife is. Yeah.
I do wonder what's up with the Dark Knight's Aegis.
Yeah, the Dark Knight's Aegis is still around. It got shunted to a random place on Vithardan. 20 years later, I do know who has it. I will not be telling you that. It is still around. It is still around. It is angry. There's a the Dark Knight's Aegis is its own being essentially, but it felt like it was tricked. It felt like it did not get to enact its end of the bargain that it had made. But in the face of the power of an Aeon, being the Night Mother, it couldn't really do much more than escape. So it now is enacting its own plans along with its new wielder, who is not as resilient of will as Wolfriend, will say. I think if I haven't written anything on what I'm about to mention, but I think Pat, if you wanted to take that upon yourself, you're welcome to, which is the whatever became of the Ebon Fang. I've kind of left that amorphous in the world at this point, where I haven't really nailed down. So if you have any thoughts on that, please let me know, because I mean Fenris is still alive. Perona is still alive and kicking. You also have God, I can never remember her name. Reyna Valig is still alive and kicking with the Defiant. So like there are still members. We never really explored the members of the Black Foxes or the Serpents. So
right. It had been mentioned that they had gone to ground.
Yeah, they had gone to ground, but we never really explored what happened to their members.
It's true.
Oh, hey guys, I'm gonna go to bed. I can't mess with my sleep schedule too much more.
Yeah, man.
I was happy to be able to join though for tonight.
Yeah, I was happy to have you.
All right, love y'all. See ya.
Love you too.
Yeah.
I heard Pat say. He said it right.
Said what? What did I say?
It.
Come on, Pat, say it.
Say what?
You know what to say, Pat.
You know what to say.
I don't.
It's 3 words, Pat. Wait, 4 words, Pat.
Don't
Love you,
fuck
Para.
yourself, please.
That's 3.
You know, I'll take it. Good night, guys.
Oh, God,
Good
good
night.
night. Yeah, because I still think there is a place in the world for the Ebon Fang. I just think that I think probably they would have to shift slightly in how they do things and what their aims are, especially with the creation of the new 3 lesser aeons, the Shadows of Sin. I think there's a more ever-present threat to Vetharden as opposed to the one greater Aeon being locked up and his essence affecting the world. Now there are 3 lesser Aeons that can directly be called on and worshipped. And there's a whole actually I can in World Anvil there is a cult. I call it a cult. Technically it is a cult. Can you go to where I want you to go to? There we go. Something's happening with the internet now, I guess. Can you just go to the world dashboard, please? Can you stop being stupid? Anyway, so there is a cult, and that has been forming. So maybe they're playing a part in fighting that. But yeah, if you have any ideas as to what became of and what the new structure of the Ebon Fang would be and all of that, please let me know, and we can kind of set in stone who, what, when, where, why, and all that stuff pretty
Yeah, I do
readily.
have some ideas.
Where it all's got to start, babies.
It all starts as an idea.
Aside from that, jumping back to the question of NPCs that I liked, I did really like John Zor. I thought John Zor was a cool kind of gateway timeout. Fuck. Streaming, yeah,
World
so fun.
Anvil is down, I think.
Yeah, World Anvil is down for sure. Oh, that's stupid. Okay. Well, that's fortuitous for sure. I'm gonna go here just so there's something to look at. Bum, 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 bum. Dum, dum, da, da, dum. Hey, look at this. You guys haven't seen this map yet.
Ooh.
Map I've been working on for the port city of Zarog. It's a big map, so it's taking a minute to load. I think John Zor was a very enigmatic figure that played a pretty large part mid-campaign on helping you guys get your names cleared and all that stuff. And I think he was a good character all in all. And he's obviously still kicking. Look at this, guys. Big old port city. I think Firefox is having issues, which probably is my fault for using Firefox, but at the same time...
Firefox is like, fuck you.
Yeah, Firefox has just decided to tell me to go fuck myself. Yeah, if you guys are looking in the stream, you can see I'm still working on it a little bit, but it's a pretty cool looking port city in my opinion. Jack, more definitively, the Jack of Hearts was a big character in the final parts of the game. I played a large part, and I think that was more he was fond of you guys than anything else. When I was writing him, I knew he was a Nightshade elf, and I knew that he had taken part in, like, he was one of the 13 heroes of legend, and because of that, like, his pseudo immortal form, like, he can be killed, but he can't die of old age. He doesn't age normally. So I knew he was still kicking, and when I was coming up with the backstory of the heroes of legend who first abated Kalenroth breaking free during the first fall, first Nocturne's fall, I knew there was a Nightshade Elf. I knew that Nightshade Elf was the one who founded the Blightwood encampments and stuff like that, and had ushered those in. And then Aluka made Mavra, who was a part of the royalty there. And I was like, okay, well, this is like her great 13 times great grandfather. So he was automatically fond of you guys. He was also very much amused by the tomfoolery and kind of fuck-uppiness of your guys' group. It brought him joy, and so he was more keen to help out.
Damn. Even Wolfriend?
Even Wolfriend. I think he took Wolfriend a little bit more seriously because he met with you privately, didn't he, Wolfriend? When
Yeah,
yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he took you a bit more seriously just because of the gravity of the organization that you belong to. He didn't for once take Riven seriously throughout any other interactions,
which is understandable.
But no, I really liked Jack. He would have been, if you guys would have called him, because you guys had the calling card from Jack, you would have called him at the beginning. He would have been one of the more potent actors in that final battle. I think I had planned for him to die kind of martyr-like, and for his mask to fall away, and you guys find out like the similarities and everything, and Mavra recognize him from her childhood, as he would have like occasionally gone back to the Blightwood and stuff like that. But you guys didn't call him until you had already turned the big bad guy into a chicken, so he's still kicking. You guys turned the big bad guy into a fucking chicken.
You still can't believe that, can you?
I think it's less that I can't believe it, because first of all, I completely wasn't even aware at that point in time, like it, whether I'd known before or known at some point, it didn't even cross my mind that Riven had polymorph. All of my stuff just power cycled for a second there. Anyway, it didn't even occur to me that Riven had polymorph, let alone that the Arbiter of Pride could fail that saving throw as poorly as he did. And the fact that he used up all of his legendary resistances really kind of sealed that, kind of like nailed that coffin lid shut.
No, because to be honest, I was actually waiting for him to waste his resistances. Because at that point, I was like, okay, he's just gonna. Riven already watched him, like, shrug off something. So he's like, okay, let's not do that again. Because otherwise, there would be no point.
Yeah.
And then it was either between Banishing Smite or Polymorph. And at that point, I thought, you know what, Polymorph would be better in this case.
I also think I was going back and forth on a few things here, which were kind of like, in the end, you guys won. Like, so that's good, obviously. But I gave God, what was I gonna say? Maybe profound. The way I'd broken out the resistances and immunities for both the Harbinger and the Arbiter of Pride, when I was translating those into Roll20, I might have accidentally got some of those switched around, which ended up having the Arbiter resistant to some of the Harbinger's abilities, where it should have been the other way around. But by the time that we were already in the battle and it had been called out by Sin, I was like, oh, well, then these abilities are useless. I looked in there and I was like, oh, I totally switched these around. This should not have been this case. It should have been the opposite, because the Harbinger is meant to be a direct counter to the Arbiter. But never tell Sin that, because he won't watch this VOD, so...
Then we watch
because
later.
I make all these in Google Docs and stuff. Like, I write them all out, and then I have to pull all the information into Roll20. And so I was doing that all at the same time, and so some of that information just got switched. But that's okay. I think it worked out just fine. I think it would have been
It
cool.
did in the end.
I think it would have been cool because there was also a chance that Uzmir turned into a different kind of Harbinger, because he had the axe from the Arbiter of Gluttony, called the Gluttonous Reaper. And he could have turned into the Harbinger Sinful Hunger, which is, instead of a neutral celestial, it would have been a chaotic evil celestial, which would have greatly changed how things worked out.
Yep. Now he had two gods.
Still could have saved the world. It just might have been a more inconvenient thing. Just a second, guys. We'll be right back. Okay, and I think we're gonna end there for today, but I do want to end this with a sneak peek.
We love
So
sneak peeks.
we'll do live screen to stream ending soon. I think it's that one. Hard for me to tell. Add this here. Second, guys. Okay, here we go. We can play this intro as the ending here. I think that'll be a good way to end it, and it'll be a sneak peek for the final the upcoming campaign, and be a good way to end out this final stream for the main campaign.
Quite a journey.
Quite a journey, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. I was very happy that when the campaign first started, we weren't streaming, and it was Luca, Tara, Rocky, and Sen, and then we ended up somehow talking Mr. Pat into joining us, and I don't think it would have been the same without you, Pat. So thank you for coming on our journey with us. But let's go ahead and play that intro for the final game. And good night, everybody. We love you. We hope to see you next Saturday, the 22nd, for the campaign premiere of Pirates of Bethardan. Good night, everybody. Love you.
Bye.